And I feel like this is a canon event for most nail techs. I got broken into. You need to just get on the train and go. And you can challenge those systems. You can literally make your own. Hi, I'm Janessa. If you don't know me, I'm 23 and I'm the face behind 10 Tips Down Studio and Nessie Did It. These need to go so bad. They're driving me so insane. I'm gonna take them off today and you're gonna come with me and you're gonna learn about how I got into this business. This is not professional advice. This is just my experience and my story. And you know, maybe you can take some inspiration or food for thought, perhaps. I mean, you could take it as advice, but I'm not saying it's gonna be professional. Let's get started. This is my first video that I'm recording and I'm literally so nervous. I have like notes here. If I keep like looking at my phone, that's why. I started doing nails when I was 17. I was in high school still. Most people were heading off to university or college or, you know. Me though, I was like, that uni life is not for me. I wasn't bad at school, but like I wasn't doing well. I was like super glad I never had like family pressure to go to school. My mom was pretty like chill about that. She was like, you know, do your thing, just make some money. And I kind of knew that I wanted to do something creative with my life. I was getting my nails done at the time. My nail tech, she was offering courses. So I asked her if I could take her course. I was struggling to find a nail tech that would like do all the art that I wanted on my nails. And I feel like this is a canon event for most nail techs. You can't find the nail tech who does your nails the way you want them to be done, so you just fill the gap and you start doing them yourself. One night I literally went to Sally's and I picked up hard gel. Even before I started the course, I was like, let me just try this, let me practice. I just set up in the corner of my basement at home with a stool that I already had, an IKEA desk that I already had, and some craft supplies that my mom owned. I was determined, so you know, you gotta start somewhere, and like, if you can start with what you have around the house, that's like my best advice. Like literally go grab your mom's glitters. People have been using newspaper on nails since I don't even know when. You can get creative with it. Starting with what I had, I did some nails. Were they amazing? No. I practiced on like my friend and my mom, just using the techniques that I picked up on just by watching other people do my nails. I took my course. I began working in the salon shortly after that. It was a commission-based salon, so if you guys don't know, there's like different pay structures. So instead of getting paid hourly, I would basically get like paid per client. I think working in a salon is an amazing place to start and build your clientele and learn how to do nails and really perfect your craft and get better at it. You kind of reach a threshold where it's really hard to like increase your income without doing more work or like taking more clients. Because it got to a point where I started doing the math and I was on like a 40% commission, and I tried to negotiate like a better split for myself, and I think it raised to 45% by the end of it. But like, it wasn't awful, like don't get me wrong, it was definitely somewhere to start, but it's just kind of hard to like be motivated when you're not getting paid your worth at any job. Within a year, I was nowhere near where I started. My nails were completely different. It really just takes like consistency, practice, being dedicated to your craft like every day. Because I was there every day. I was there on the weekends, I was there after school, I was there nearly every day. That first year really gave me the experience that I needed to grow, and I wouldn't take it back. I didn't have to worry about building a clientele from scratch, but eventually it did get to the point where it was like, I knew people were coming solely to see me because they would book directly through me. So that was like another kind of point to knowing that I was ready to move on from there. When the pandemic hit, I pivoted to press-on nails. I was on it, like literally immediately. On March 20th, I ordered some blank full cover tips. Ask Siri what day the pandemic actually started. I was ready. Within the first 2 weeks of offering press-ons, I already had more than 18 orders. I just wasn't expecting them to pop off like that. I closed my orders, and in that meantime, I worked on telling people how to order, how to size, making everything look better, building a website, and an appointment site. I also made a plan for reopening and kind of just like what I wanted to do. In the beginning of me doing nails, I had a really bad client at home experience. So I was just not about that life. Like, I was ready to get into a new space. I just wanted like a professional environment to bring my clients to, and I would feel more comfortable like taking strangers. It took me a little while to find a space, but no, more like it took me like, I was probably looking honestly maybe for less than a month. I remember I even drove past it before I even had any plans to view it. The perfect little space. Once I got to see it in person too, I was like, yeah, this is the perfect size. Like, I hadn't seen anything that small. It was just for myself mostly, so I didn't need a huge space, nor did I want a huge space, or the bill that comes with having a huge space. But it was literally so ugly. She had pumpkin orange walls and the ugliest like office carpet. So I negotiated into my lease that they would paint, redo the flooring into like hardwood flooring, and that they would also install a sink into the room. They were just like, okay, like if we do these things, can you sign for 2 years? I was like, yeah, no problem. Within like a month, I think I was in there. In the meantime, I like collected everything, all the furniture I needed, got together all my decorations that I already had. You gotta start somewhere. You don't need everything to be perfect before you start. I forgot to bring my glasses home. I brought everything else home but my glasses. So I'm gonna use these as like safety goggles because if you know, you know. Before I even moved into the space, I got the ball rolling on like everything that I needed legally to operate my business. Things like getting my trade name registered, getting a business license, getting my AHS inspection. I scheduled all of those meetings so that they would be ready to do as soon as I was in the space. If there is one thing that you should pay for your business, it is business insurance. Because a year and a half into having my space, I got broken into. You just never know what's going to happen. It is so important to have. As sad as I was, insurance covered mostly everything except for the sentimental value of some of the things that they took. I kind of just took it as a learning curve, and again, this was like a year and a half into having my studio, so I knew my lease was coming up on the 2-year mark, and I was kind of just like, let's just take this setback and turn it into a major comeback. After 2 years in my first studio and a break-in later, I was ready to expand. I missed working with people. I missed like having people around who were doing similar things and in a similar industry. I got my Instagram ready, I got my logos ready. I just got everything ready to expand so that it wouldn't be like such a stressor when I did. There's actually an empty unit right next to my suite that I already had. So I talked to the property managers and I was like, hey, what would you think about knocking down the wall? We negotiated again. I said, put some flooring in, knock the wall down, give me a little more space. And they said, cool, sign for 5 years. And I know that sounds like a really long time, but that's actually like the standard for most commercial leases. I more so wanted like a co-working space where people kind of brought their businesses with them and we all just kind of worked under the same roof. The chair rental model allowed me to invite other nail techs into my space without having to manage the back ends of their business. You don't have to worry about building somebody else's clientele, which was just perfect because I'm still trying to build my own business. I think for them too, it's like a lot more rewarding because they get to keep all of their money. They just basically pay for the space that they're using monthly. I just had to turn the camera off while I filed the rest of my nails off because it was getting too crazy in here. I didn't just like magically find the right people to work with. The studio was literally just me with 3 desks for the first 5 months after I expanded. In hindsight, maybe that's something I could have been a little more proactive about and found people before I made that decision. If you're going down that path, that's something you should consider. Honestly, too, it was a thing that I didn't want to or need to rush into too fast because I wanted the right people. I did have ads up on Instagram that I was offering chair rentals, but I wasn't really getting any leads. I ended up taking matters into my own hands, and I started reaching out to people myself that I thought fit the vibe and I liked their work. I asked them if they wanted to come check the space out. On my second interview, I found Emily, shout out 079 Nail. She was coming from a salon environment as well, so she knew the struggle. Eventually, Ainsley, Electric Panther Nails, joined after taking my course. I'm so grateful because I know a lot of people don't get to experience the perfect work environment. All in all, I'm kissing 6 years of business with Nessie Did It, and I just passed 2 years in business with 10 Tips Down. I somehow did this all on my own. No like financial help, no formal education, just off pure vibes. No, but it took a lot of like dedication and passion and a lot of self-discipline. My key takeaways from this whole thing is don't wait for the perfect circumstances to get started, just get started. The second thing I would take away from all this is experience is everything. Every experience that you have, whether it's a good one or a bad one, will teach you how you want to move forward. Like if you have a bad experience and you're like, hey, this doesn't work for me, you will never do the bad experience again, you know? Experience builds up over time. The third thing I want you guys to take away from this is to always advocate for yourself and your needs. Always be clear with your values, and whether it's negotiating a lease or charging your worth, you have to be your own biggest supporter. And here is the kicker. Okay, here's the controversial one. Here's the part that nobody's going to tell you. You don't have to follow the rules. You don't have to follow a blueprint. You don't have to follow what everybody else does. The beauty industry, like most industries, is built on a system that doesn't always work for the people who are doing the actual work. And you can challenge those systems. You can literally make your own. You don't need a blueprint of where you're going and how you're gonna get there. You need to just get on the train and go. Just trust yourself and adapt and learn as you go. Good things take time and everybody has to start somewhere, so just start. This is like the first video I'm filming, so this is just all new to me. So forgive me if this is a little like hard to follow. If I inspired you or gave you something to think about, if I fed your thoughts today, let me know in the comments. I'm gonna finish taking these off camera, but